I bet you I'm more of a gambler than anybody that goes to the casino because I'm gambling everything.
The other farmers were like, what are you guys doing, growing marijuana in the middle of your field?
Bringing hemp production back to the U.S. is a huge opportunity.
It is a multi-billion-dollar industry for everybody but us right now.
The three most important things in my life would have to be, number one would be the Lord, and then my family, my wife and my son and my grandkids. Those are the most important things in my life. Farming is just in my blood. I'll never quit doing it.
I want a generational farm that can be passed down to my family. Having them to have something to look at and really be proud of when they grow up.
When Dion first asked me to do hemp with him, of course, I asked him if he was smoking pot and whatnot because he's married to my daughter.
Yeah, the other farmers around this area were really like, what are you guys doing, growing marijuana in the middle of your field? I mean, the plants themselves look identical.
As a farmer, you're always looking for sometimes that little niche that might get you that little extra dollar here or there. I bet you I'm more of a gambler than anybody that goes to the casino because I'm gambling everything, not just what's in my pocket. I'm gambling everything.
Hemp has been a critical economic crop globally for 6 millennia. Somehow we just got off track in the United States and we just have a better part of a century where there's this gap. A scientific gap, a production gap, an infrastructure gap. We import billions of dollars in hemp. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry for everybody but us right now.
When I got into hemp, I had a lot of people ask, what is my purpose? My biggest thing about hemp is the water savings. This San Luis Valley, we're getting to where water is getting to be, just like gold.
Here they pay for water. They really have to be aware of their input costs on everything. They need hemp to help raise up their revenues per acre so they can stay viable.
Places like the San Luis Valley that are watertight and looking at a pretty tough future in terms of water, we risk not just losing farmers, but all the other local businesses related to agriculture.
We don't want these communities to dry up and people to leave. And that's why this industrial hemp is such an important crop.
There's so much potential in hemp, and it's been so misunderstood. And it just seems at a fundamental level, there's a lot of miseducation, there's a lot of emotion involved, and who gets emotional about corn? Hemp was cultivated and then domesticated over 10,000 years ago. There's scientific evidence that hemp was used for fiber, food, and then later on medicine in East Asia. As we colonized America in 1616, there's evidence that Jamestown, they were cultivating hemp in that first American settlement. Then you get into the early 1900s, and then for a lot of reasons, hemp kind of went underground. One of the big reasons is that 1937 Marijuana Tax Act, which put taxes on marijuana production, and that somehow got hemp lumped in as well. And then it finally went completely illegal under Nixon's 1970s Controlled Substances Act. The 2018 Farm Bill allowed every state to create a plan and put the framework in place and started the regulations around federal hemp production. With that 50-year gap in production, we have a lot of catch-up to do. Is it the savior of all agriculture and humanity? That's a big ask. Hemp is a huge step in the right direction.
So let's go 120 on this 60. Yeah. And then on that other 60, we can drop it down to 100 or whatever your thoughts are.
90.
90.
And then go up to 60.
So we've got enough seed to do it all at 92.5 pounds.
The hemp plant is an absolutely incredible plant. Hemp thrives on about any condition. It takes very little water to survive. It's a weed. It grows anywhere, pretty much anyhow.
Bringing hemp production back to the U.S. is a huge opportunity. We can build with hemp fiber, for example, a supply chain that starts with U.S. farmers, Colorado farmers, growing hemp. That ends up in a customer's closet with their favorite pair of overalls they've ever owned.
What role can hemp textiles play in America? I don't even know where to start. Replacing cotton would be the first thing. Hemp uses less water, less pesticides, and is overall better for the environment. In my 3 years of growing it, I've never seen a need to spray anything. It can also be regenerative. We've actually shown through research at CSU that you can grow hemp no-till as well. We know that tillage in agriculture is one of the biggest causes of climate change alongside animal production. And those are two things that hemp could easily be solutions for. One of the nicknames for hemp is the crop of thousands of uses because it can be used for food and fiber and medicinal compounds that we're just starting to learn about. Let's feed people, let's clothe people, and let's have better living through chemistry. What's exciting now with the legalization of hemp in 2018 is we can play catch up. And Americans are innovators.
Hemp is risky no matter what you do, whether it's cannabinoid farming or even fiber farming.
We grew so much hemp for CBD in 2019 that prices tanked. It's really time now to start exploring all the other potential uses. Between farmers, farm mechanics, we're such an ingenious bunch. But it's such a risky deal with the bureaucracy, the regulations, the difficulties, how it's different from state to state. The Colorado Department of Agriculture has this definition of industrial hemp, that any cannabis sativa plant must test below 0.3% THC on a dry weight basis. The reality is, you would have to smoke like 100 hemp cigarettes to even feel an effect, and you would be sick by the end of it.
So 6 years ago, we tested at 0.31. We're allowed 0.3. They had no lenience. We had to destroy 180 acres right there. Burn it in the field, video it, send it to them, and that was it.
The money loss was a big part of it, but as a farmer, something that you work day and night, you work really hard at, and then have to sit there and watch it burn. That's a tough thing to swallow. Both of us decided right there that we may not want to be doing this anymore. This is way too risky. We actually had another fellow farmer that actually talked us into giving it another whirl. And that was the best thing that happened for that.
The future of hemp is getting up to speed. Our farm equipment hasn't caught up. Our infrastructure hasn't caught up. There's just not enough people in the space.
Somebody comes and says they know everything in hemp right now, I'd be scared. Because boy, we learn every single day in this business. That's the fun part. I don't mind a little unknown, I don't mind a little risk. Because it lets us innovate. We want farmers to make money. Bottom line, we want these farms to be successful. It's just such a neat plant that you can do so much with. It's kind of a shame that we lost 80 years. Imagine where we'd be.
My name is Ding, and I'm from Hemp Textiles, and I started my hemp career since 1994.
Ding's had a vision for hemp, I think, for many, many years. He sees a vision in the U.S. That maybe we don't even see right now.
I'm here really looking forward to working with the U.S. growers. Since it's a global market now, and I think you guys grow the really great cotton. There's no reason you can't grow a great hemp.
This will be the cotton of this century, minus all of the negative connotations. This new crop will be something that created economic prosperity for Colorado's farmers. In the crazy state of the world today, in the middle of a pandemic, that there are things that are just good. It's nice to have that positivity in a world like today.
Nothing about political parties and hemp. It's just a solid business opportunity, a solid environmental opportunity, good for farmers, good for our health, good for the economy, and good for sustainability.
Back when, before the freezer was done, people got their ice from lakes. In the wintertime, they went out and cut ice. Well, when that freezer was invented, it put all those ice people out of work. Well, the way I look at it is, ice people should have changed their way of thinking. They should have got into making freezers or whatnot. The money that our farmers can be making right here, U.S. dollars, U.S. made, that's where it needs to be. It's going to be huge for the United States because we can grow it.